Hello and welcome. My name is Edrina. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Edrina. And in today's video, we're talking all about the scary things no one told me before I started my business. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. That lets me know that you are watching this video and that you like this type of content. Now, entrepreneurship, enter at your own risk. Entrepreneurship is full of surprises, but some scary and dark secrets are only revealed once you're deep in the haunted halls of running your own business. Beware of these shocking, even scary truths that many discover only after they've crossed the threshold into business ownership. The first one, the isolation is real. Running a business can feel like you're stuck in a haunted house, alone. The isolation creeps in, especially when the weight of tough decisions presses down on you and you find yourself surrounded by nothing but silence. Without a support system, even the bravest entrepreneurs can feel overwhelmed. When you're an introvert like me, isolation can creep in very quietly, and you may not even recognize it at first. In fact, I have to go out of my way to make sure that I don't stay isolated. I do this by making plans with friends and fellow bookkeepers for coffee or lunch meetups. It is hard sometimes, but the isolation, when it goes unnoticed, can wreak havoc on your mental health over time. You're always on. Entrepreneurship is a curse. You're always on. No matter the hour, the business is like a restless spirit forever lingering in the back of your mind. Disconnecting feels impossible, even when you try to step away for a moment of peace. The business becomes a part of your life, and you're often thinking about it 24/7. This can make it difficult to truly disconnect, even when you're supposed to be off or spending time with family. As I've mentioned before, time and time again, it is so hard to not think about my business. I have to actively engage my mind in other things in order for me to feel like a well-rounded individual. Thankfully, I've got a lot going on in this season of life, but I know that once the next year hits, I'll need to refocus my brain on other things. The emotional toll. Beware, the highs can be thrilling, but the lows absolutely chilling. Failure, rejection, and constant pressure to succeed can be emotionally draining. The weight of it all can feel like a heavy shroud that's so hard to shake off. Entrepreneurs often underestimate the emotional toll of failure, rejection, and constant stress. So make sure to check in with yourself on a constant basis to see how you're doing in terms of stress and what you're doing to make sure that you are spending time outside of your business. Delegation is harder than expected. Letting go of tasks sounds easy, but in reality, it's handing over your prized spell book. You never know if someone will handle it right. Trusting others can be terrifying, and the fear of losing control can make micromanaging feel like the only safe option. But at what cost? I absolutely have the hardest time handing over my precious work to another human, but knowing I can cross-train someone for these tasks has been the best thing for my business, for the growth of my business in the long run. So releasing some of that control really helps to ease my mind. Not all clients will pay you. Not all clients will like you. Brace yourself for some truly wicked customers. Some will vanish like ghosts before paying, while others haunt you with complaints or unreasonable demands. Dealing with these spirits can drain your energy and your bank account. It's important to make sure that your contracts are airtight when it comes to payments so that you won't have a missing customer vanish like that. However, that may be the case at some point, and you will need to plan for that. There were a few instances in the early days of my business where I did actual hard work and didn't end up getting paid for it. And that was because the client had unrealistic expectations of me and of the results of what I would be providing to them. Those are the times where you end up eating the cost, but hopefully it's not too many times. And eventually you will get really good at who you bring on as a client. There are legal and compliance complexities. Behind the doors of business ownership lurks a maze of legal traps and compliance pitfalls. The mountain of paperwork and regulations can be bewildering and time-consuming, pulling you into a web of administrative horrors. Be prepared for the unexpected twists and turns. Whether it's dealing with taxes, contracts, or industry-specific regulations, the sheer volume of administrative work is a significant time drain and often requires expensive professional help. And that is why I include in my week, every single week, CEO time. It's those times where I can tackle all of these administrative tasks. It's the times where I can tackle my finances, my bookkeeping, and it's the time where I can tackle strategy and forecasting. Make sure you build that into your schedule because as a CEO of your own business, you will definitely need and thank yourself for that time. The financial roller coaster. Cash flow management, more like a nightmare, especially in the early days. Expenses will jump out at you from the shadows, and clients can vanish without a trace before paying. These ghoulish surprises can send your bank balance plummeting into the abyss when you least expect it. Many entrepreneurs are shocked by how quickly expenses can pile up or how long it takes to get paid by clients or customers. This can lead to periods of financial instability that weren't anticipated. And that is why I tell you to make sure your contracts are airtight when it comes to payment. I definitely require payment upfront before I start your bookkeeping because if I didn't, I could do a lot of hard work and not get paid for it. Work-life balance can feel impossible. Beware, many entrepreneurs find themselves trapped in the twilight zone of endless work hours. The line between business and personal life gets blurrier with each passing day, like a fog that never lifts. It is super important to create a schedule for yourself so you don't overwork and still have time for loved ones during your day. I like using alarms to keep me on task throughout the day. A few alarms that I have set up are when to start working, when to break for lunch, and when to end work. Once I learned that the alarms were going to be the most helpful thing for me, I created a structure for my day that works best for me. And I pass that on to you to say, this may also work for you, but if it doesn't, find something that does work for you. I have tons of productivity tips on my channel, so you can watch other videos. I'll make sure to link some down below. Everyone has opinions and not all are helpful. Once you start a business, the advice vampires come out. They'll flood you with unsolicited advice, and it's up to you to separate the helpful insights from the nonsense. Too much conflicting input can make your head spin. So this is what I like to do. I like to take in those opinions, but I like to separate out what I think is going to be helpful for me and what is going to be helpful for the other person. And sometimes we just have to quiet everything and just stick to our goals. That's why we created goals. So you can focus in on those goals when all these other voices are loud and are surrounding you. So make sure you stick to your goal, stick to the path that you set before yourself. The uncertainty never really goes away. Even after you hit success milestones like profitability or growth, that eerie, creepy feeling of uncertainty will still haunt you. Whether it's the ghostly whisper of market changes or unexpected disruptions lurking in the shadows, you'll always feel something lurking just out of sight. All of these things can throw you off kilter. These spooky realities are lurking behind every corner, but don't be scared. Facing them head on will make you a stronger entrepreneur, preparing you for the unexpected and building up your resilience along the way. And let's face it, my business is a blessing to me. I wouldn't change it for the world. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun one to record and to work on. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.